I can see that you practice the overcoming the objections, which is critical, right?
So earthquake is the only thing I can say. What do you have down in there? So you got a dust storm, right? When the haboobs come through. Like,
they call them a haboob. A haboob is the big dust storm here.
Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes podcast. How are you excluding the people that are Joe Schmo down the streets client and they just want to make a policy change?
Well, most of those people, once they're with, as like a captive carrier, right? So if you're with your Farmers, American Families, Allstate, State Farm, right? Once they have the agent relationship built, okay, once they have that, they normally know just to call that agent. Or if you've done what you do right, is what every company is after these days, because they want people to go online. They want them to set up their account online. They want them to download their app. Okay. Right. So once they download the app, then if I have a question, I'm in my app, it's going to hit call and it's going to direct them right to the agency that you're already doing business with. Do you run into that sometimes where you have people that stumble across your ad or something like that that's with a different agent? Yes. I mean, you do. So, but one thing I will tell you is if you really drill down the search engine marketing and you're out there, it also depends on the product that you're going after. And I want you to think about it this way, and hopefully I can explain this well enough, is that if you're in auto insurance and you're with a carrier, right? And if you're an agent and one of your customers gets in an accident, they normally hit somebody else that's with a different carrier. So now who do you have? You have two people now trying to find somebody from your company to handle claims. So you got to eliminate these claims calls, but you have your customer that's trying to get a hold of claims, but then you also have the person they hit trying to get a hold of claims. So when you bid on auto out there, anything dealing with auto quote, you're still going to get service related calls because there's so many people trying to get a hold of what they need. But if you take it to renter's insurance, you eliminate that other party. So then there's more people searching for renter's insurance out there, and there's still some that are looking for deck page. So, but you eliminate a ton of service calls. And if you go one step further and you go after certain homeowners insurance quote keywords, if you think about it, homeowners quote, there's literally no other traffic coming in. The word is very, very clean. And you don't have all these other people looking for claims. And if anybody has a home claim, they're not calling the 800 number anyways. They're calling their agent, and because it's a burn down or it's something major, and they're not talking to somebody 800 number. So The quality of the keyword gets better over time. And I have found that by just going after literally home, I write so much more business, and I don't play with everybody else because there's nobody bidding. I'm sure after this podcast, everybody will be in my backyard now, but that's how I just look at it.
Well, but only,
and then,
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So it's that, and then just going after, what is it now? Is it the Gen X? Is that the newest one that everybody's trying to go after? And it's all online shopping, but you have to think about what the future holds. Is if you can get a hold of somebody from Gen X to do business with your agency, you need to then train them to build a relationship with you rather than just doing everything over the phone. Let them bind online, take care of them, but then ask them if they want to meet. Most of those guys won't come in, but what a lot of agents are missing is they're not doing Zoom conference calls or Zoom calls with their clients. If here we can all see each other, but instead of having people come and sitting with you in your agency, just start setting up Zoom calls with people. They can go on their phone or do whatever, and you can talk to them face to face, and you build the rapport and you retain the customer. So that's just kind of what we've been focusing on recently.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. We had somebody on our podcast a couple years ago that was talking about the neural pathways and stuff in our brain. And that when you see someone, even though it's on a screen, but you're seeing and you're talking to them, your brain is almost processing it as if you guys are together. You build that same kind of bond. So I think that's huge. It's one of those things that now everybody's been trained over the last year and a half to use Zoom. I mean, everybody knows how to use it.
And it's so easy now. You just text a link out or just email a quick link and they just hop on, and here we are. It's almost like a FaceTime call. What's funny is that I'm not a big FaceTime person on my phone, but I'll get on Zoom calls all day long and chat with people, especially if I have a call that's going to go bad. with the customer, meaning they get an unpleasant experience with my office with claims or didn't understand something right, it's better to actually speak with them over the video or face to face than it is to just do it over the phone. Because then people get real hot over the phone because they're hiding a little bit. Whereas if they can see your facial expressions, they know that you care because you really do. And sometimes that's hard to interpret through your voice. So
yeah,
I love that.
The tears coming down. They can't keep yelling at you.
Emotional.
How do you get your staff to do that? Okay. Because it's one of those things. It's like, I know with customer service, it's tough, man. Those people that are upset, it's tough to deal with. How do you get them to actually say, okay, take that tough person and then also get online with them? But I think that's an amazing strategy.
Well, so I have 3 offices now. And I was one of the first, like the first in company history to have 3 out here in Vegas. And I opened that up during COVID. I felt like they thought, who's crazy enough to try this? And so I was like, well, let me try it. So, but what I had learned though through COVID when I had that 3rd office is like the challenging is the team camaraderie and getting everybody on the same page. So I did do more Zoom calls, and I had like morning huddles almost every morning from like 8:45 to 9, just quick 15 minutes, shout out a Zoom. And then we're all just talking and we can all see each other on video and we're explaining what's happening within each office. So every day, everybody just got super comfortable talking in front of the camera. And then a lot of times with the consumer, if you're talking to them, they don't understand something, say, this is much easier if I can show you on your screen. Or on my screen is okay. I can actually share a link with you and go over this, and you can see like my mouse like right on there and go that route. So, and people have been very receptive to it.
There's almost no excuse for them not to get on because you could do it from your phone. You can do it from your computer, put on your TV. I mean, it's just, I think the hardest part is probably getting the team to actually do it. Because once you're good, you just say, hey, we're going to hop on here. Did you get the link? Click it. Right? You don't even need to say what you're doing. And they go, hey, we're on.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct on that. So but yeah, my team. And then, some of my team is like, we have like every carrier has obviously like a secure platform that they want you to use, whether that would be Zoom or whatever they're using at the time. Is a lot of times there's some difficulties right away helping people understand how to kick the link out. But I just practice with them and they send the link just directly to me until I get them to like learn about it. And once you do the first couple, it just gets easier. But then I've been telling people in my office, rather than sending an IM or an email, because a lot of times it's misinterpreted, it's what's coming up. And we've seen it on movies like in the past when we watch, where basically, let me call so-and-so. And they just like click a button and just and it just comes up and the person's right here and they quickly talk to them and it hangs up. They kind of like eliminate the whole waiting to connect part. I think as technology gets faster and faster and faster, when you want to buzz somebody in one of your other offices, you're going to, instead of chatting with them like through chat, you're going to click and just see them face to face. But at what point does like the companies, like some of these big captive carriers, right? Or State Farm, Allstate, Farmers, American Family, Geico, Progressive, right? Some of those online companies. At what point does one of these companies start to make the move that when you have a claim, rather than talking to people over the phone, because that's all how they do business right now, is somebody to take a step forward and actually start doing video chat with the consumers out there, and who's ever first at the game and can figure it out and taking care of the customer is going to, I feel like, win in the long run.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. It's definitely one of those things you got to invest some time into thinking about. What does this look like in a few years, and how can we start implementing some systems and processes that mimic so we'll be pros by then. We won't be left behind.
Do you have your sales team do calls on Zoom as well?
So if the customer wants to go through with it, yes. And with my agency, and they used to not let us do this before, is that I'm licensed in 3 other states. So I've got Arizona, Utah, and California.
Get out of Arizona.
Yeah, I know. It's like I target right around your area. It's like
good.
So
good.
Well, I say, telling everybody, because a lot of people they argue with me, and as you would too, is if you would be like, well, why would you do business in a different state? Because that person's going to just switch to a closer agent after a while and want to go down the road. And I said, and I fight with you. I say, no, not really. And they say, what's your spin? And I said, well, in California, I said, if you think about it, if I'm doing my business like in San Francisco or like in the LA area, all over the place, I said, what happens when a catastrophic event happens, right? I said, not only are you affected as the customer, but so are the agents and team members that you do business with, and you're back in line at the 800 number. Wouldn't it be nice to have me, I'm a hot skip and a jump away, plus everybody comes to Vegas, you can visit anytime, but we're talking over the phone. I have the expertise and I can help you and the staff big enough that if you have a catastrophic event, you are not at an 800 number. You call my agency and we're taking care of you. So
I can see that you practice the overcoming the objections, which is critical, right?
So earthquake is the only thing. What do you have down in there? So you got a dust storm, right? When the blues come through. Like,
they call them a haboob. A haboob is the big dust storm here.
But
so for an agent that's listening,
go ahead.
For an agent that's maybe not doing a bunch of tech stuff right now, I mean, how can they start getting into this and not feel that overwhelm?
I think it's just baby steps. I mean, again, going back to if you're not comfortable on the video, set yourself, depending on what platform you have, set yourself with a Zoom and start having a Zoom with your team meetings. Sometimes we have some of these offices, 2-3 people, so we're not going to do a Zoom that way, but we could, or if I'm working from home one day, I can then Zoom in with my team and everybody's sitting at their desk having the Zoom meeting, and you're just getting comfortable in front of the camera, in front of speaking in front of people. And it's just baby steps like that and little practicing. It even goes back to internet leads. When we talk about the processes of closing deals there, most people don't like internet leads because they bought 15 and they could only handle 3. So it's just like buying this a couple a day, getting used to how the whole system works and then adding a couple more, because it's like really your system and your process is broke. And that's why, if you want to lose weight, right? Got to go to the gym. If you don't go, not going to lose weight.
Not going to happen. Not with all these cannolis I'm eating. I am still like one of these things that's really been picking at my brain for a long time. And every time it comes up is the selling using Zoom. I think that knowing that physiologically there's a connection, like we're, human to human talking, right? And we know that if somebody comes in, it's almost a done deal, right? Unless we're quadruple, people buy, right? Like your close rate goes up astronomically if they come in. So if having that Zoom conversation is that close to being in person, it would seem to me that would be huge in closing rate and conversions.
Yeah. And then the other thing is like what you do too, is that if you think about it, this is the way I feel like it's going to go like in the future, if you want to deck out your office, but you start to put like little cubby holes, like you have like in my office, like I have like little sections all the way through that there's all these desks in. So then after a while, today, like, you can see like a little background in there. At what point do you start making all the backgrounds, instead of having a fake background, you make cool little backgrounds so that when your team comes in, like I'm sitting here today, it's in the sports room, or tomorrow I'm sitting there, it's the fashion room or things like that. So you're sitting in all these different rooms and you're always switching it up for the customer when they're coming in. So it looks fun, like in your agency, because people want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
So
I love that. That's super cool.
It's like, we're just going down a rabbit hole here. You guys are like,
no, it just has my brain going, and how often does the prospect say, hey, we'll email it over, right? And then we have a way to overcome that. But how much more would it be to take it that step further? Instead say, hey, you know what? Click the link and let's make sure that worked for you, right? And then they click it, boom, you're up, and go, let's go over it now. And you just freaking scroll through it, right? Then it's like, okay, what are they going to say? Oh, I want to print it out and I want to because nobody's looking through the email. We all know that, right? That's just, I want to get off the phone.
And they're also getting pretty good, I feel like, with the technology with companies of just being to quickly text message a document, because back in the day, everything was email. But if you think about it right now, a lot of it's now moving to text. You can quickly, if I get a PDF on my phone, I can actually just text it right to you.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy
that way. So it's the same thing, is that when these computers get really good, which some of them are, just the technology, it's sometimes hard for the big carriers to like completely move because there's data. Everybody's worried about privacy and security, which is super important. But after a while, just be able to talk to somebody like, hey, let me just text you the document, or here, let me text you the binder, rather than emailing the binder over, and you just share it right in a secure connection.
Yeah.
So,
it's amazing.
Super cool.
It's I don't know, you get even to the phones, right? You're FaceTiming somebody and you could do it right through Zoom. And it's like, how do I set this device up in my car? Because everybody's doing their whole device and like mileage and everything else. And you could literally step them through them as they come into your office 5-10 years ago. You guys remember how that was? They're coming in, you're going out to the car. Now it's just all over video.
It is.
Super cool. I love all that stuff. I love how similar it is to, I mean, you're trying to create kind of back to the idea of doing different rooms. You're trying to create an experience, right? And you can create that with technology. I think people were really afraid of technology taking away a human element. Well, put it back in there, you know, like use the technology to create a good human experience rather than take away.
It's, I'm sure you guys see it though, too. It's a lot of business being done online, you know, and so sometimes it's harder for a captive agent to compete with like some of the online companies that are really good. But when somebody has a claim, that's why they go back. And I feel like the agent is always going to win at the end of the day because of the customer experience. And the agents that figure out the technology piece faster are going to be the ones that win at the end. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, humans still want the connection. Like they don't want it for everything, right? But they want to know that behind the scenes, the Wizard of Oz is actually pulling some levers and they're protected the right way, right? And so when the house burns down, like they don't want an 800 number. They don't want to just fill out some form. They need to, you know, have somebody console them and walk them through it. So yeah, there's a lot of power behind that.
Love it. So Perry, final question is, out of your 20 years of being in the industry and continuing to evolve with the times and being kind of on the forefront of that, what is the number one piece of advice that you give any insurance agent coming into the industry, or maybe somebody that really wants to kickstart their agency into the future?
Well, I think it just goes back to somebody with a stupid answer, just to training. You know, just like from like day one, just continuing to try to get better. Sometimes like I think I'm good at something, but I continue to try to train to just get better, whether that's meeting with customers, that's just going through the quoting process, that's learning like new technology, or that's just brushing up just like on my skills in general, you know, about just different products. And like, as long as you continue to train, I feel like you're going to win in the long run. Most new agents struggle because they just don't understand how to bind the policy. They're very good at talking to people. People want to buy with them. But when they say yes, it's like day one, it's like, well, how do I take money to put it into the system, or how do I quote it? As you guys know, like sometimes it's the systems and the train, you know, and everybody just kind of breezes through that stuff and they don't go back. But it's just being relevant on it and just trying to figure out what's best and just continuing to push yourself. Like I've been looking at, like, I mean, I feel very good in the insurance field. I'm in here working every single day, 16 years later, but I'm also doing some courses like on the side out there, some business development courses, quick month or two, few online where we're talking with different people and strategizing just to stay fresh out there so that I can stay up, because I don't know where this world's going and where technology is going to take us.
Yeah.
So, but it just, you know, just the grind and just, you know, having patience. I mean, I think my number one thing that makes me successful is my patience with my team. You know, I'm okay to give somebody 2, 3, 4, 10 tries, you know, over and over. I try to see the good in something rather than just be like quick to cut somebody. I very rarely, I think I haven't fired anybody in probably 7-8 years since I've let go. I try to win that way. And then just my other best advice, if you want to win, just give back to others, you know, and try to help other people succeed. The more that I've given to other agents across the country, you know, or team members, and trying to help them succeed, the better it's worked out for me. And I don't know if that's just how it is, but I've always just been blessed and lucky, I guess. But I think that's, you know, you pay it forward and you'll get it in return.
Yeah. The greater the abundance in your mentality, the greater it comes back.
So,
yeah, I love that. Well, it seems that anybody that has good luck, it's usually there's a lot of reasons for it, you know, and it sounds like you pouring into other people have really come back tenfold. Love it. Perry,
love it.
Where can people see you, get a hold of you, check out your stuff?
What's your cell?
Yeah, right there. So I mean, it's probably on LinkedIn. It's like, so what I always tell people, and I help people all the time, is that I just go out and say, find me on LinkedIn, shoot me a message. I always respond to the messages. I've given people a call that don't know me from Adam to say, hey, this is how I would look at it. Here's my best take on it. I obviously enjoy helping people. So do that. Google me. So I don't have any Facebook or anything like that.
Nice. You escaped.
There's no upside to Facebook. So
Well, Perry, thank you, man. It's been so awesome hanging out. Hope we'll catch up again down the road. I will probably see you at LeadsCon. And
see you out at the club.
Have an awesome presentation there.
And stuff like that. So.
Yeah, Top Golf on Wednesday night, right? So
yeah.
Well, cool. It's going to fade out. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you
it's
so
an honor.
much.
Thank you for your time.
It.
And thank you so much for listening to Insurance Dudes.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to do write 100,000 in premium off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes. It's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.